All right, so this is our last lesson for prior knowledge. We just need to know how to order and compare integers. So first, let me go over what an integer is. So an integer is a number that does not have a decimal or a fraction. So for example, like 2.5 is not an integer. 2 1/2 is not an integer, right? If it has a decimal or a fraction, it is not an integer. However, an integer can be positive or negative. So again, 2, right, is an integer, but so is -2. So is 5. So is -5. So is 10. So is 15. So is -3. So is -100. So here you have what's called positive and negative integers, but they're all integers. So in today's lesson, we're just going to learn how to order these numbers from least to greatest or greatest to least. Please make sure you read the directions so you don't make silly mistakes. So this is just going over how these are all whole numbers because they're numbers without decimals or fractions, and they're positive. So even though I told you before these are called integers, they're also called whole numbers. So some numbers have more than one name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are integers, but they're also known as whole numbers. Here, integers are numbers without a decimal or a fraction, but they can be positive or negative or 0. So positive integers are all numbers bigger than 0. That's why the arrow kind of starts from where the 1 is and goes to the right. And negative integers are all numbers less than 0. And notice how the arrow starts from -1 and goes to the left. No decimals, no fractions. So there's a few ways you can do this. I'll explain to you the first way, and that is you're first going to graph these numbers on the number line. So -3 is right here, and -1 is right here. Now to determine which one is bigger, this is an always thing. The number to the right is always bigger on the number line, always. So because it's between these two numbers here, the -1 is more to the right. So -1 is bigger than -3. Which a lot of kids are like, wait, what? No, but 3 is bigger than 1. Yeah. 3 is bigger than 1. Notice how 3 is more to the right than 1. But we're talking about negatives now. And in the negative world, it's kind of like the opposite if you think about it. The smaller, it's called the absolute value. The smaller the absolute value is, the bigger the number really is in the negative world. Now, I still don't understand what that means. So this is what I also say. I say, think of money. So think of -3 compared to -1. Because it's a negative, it's like you owe someone. Because it's a negative, it's like you owe someone. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer owing someone $3 or owing someone $1? Most of you, right? It should be all of you, but most of you say, oh, I prefer owing someone just $1. That means that -1 has more value than -3. And that's why -1 is bigger than -3. So again, we can graph it. Here's your 2, and here's your -5. And which one is bigger? Well, which one's more to the right? +2. If that doesn't work, then try the other analogy. Try using money. $2, right? 2 being positive means you have. So you have $2. The 5 here is negative, so you owe $5. Which one is the better scenario? Having $2 in your pocket or owing me $5? Again, most of you, it should be all of you, but most of you are going to say having $2. And that's why the 2 has more value than the -5. So try the next few on your own. And this will be the last one that we do. Okay, the directions are saying to go from least to greatest. Please read that carefully because sometimes I switch it and I say greatest to least. So let's first graph these numbers. Here's 4. Here's -5. Here's 0. And here's 2. Again, the smallest number is to the left, the biggest number is to the right. So when I read it like a book, left to right, this is the smallest number. Then this. Then this. And lastly, this. Again, if the number line doesn't make sense to you, just think of money, right? -5 means I owe someone $5. That is the worst scenario out of all 4 numbers. Then having nothing in my pocket is the next best, right? Again, I prefer having nothing in my pocket than owing someone $5. That's why 0 is bigger than -5. Then, of course, 2 means that you have $2 in your pocket. And of course, the best scenario is 4 because 4 means you have $4 in your pocket. And this is your answer. So go ahead and do the rest on your own. Please make sure you read the directions. And that's it.